All right, before I go into some help with the worksheet that is due today, I do want you to check your answers from the graphs that we did yesterday. You were responsible for numbers 4 through 9. And we got to pay attention to your line, make sure it's in the right point in the right direction. And it's dash versus solid, and your shading is correct. So kind of what I put here was that you need to, I wish I knew how to create the highlighter. I'll figure it out later. You need to first do your B, plot your B, which was a -6 down here, and then use your slope to plot 5 more points, or a total of 5 points. So because the slope was a -3/2, I'm not sure if y'all recognize that I went down. Oops. I went down 3 and then to the right 2. Okay. And then based on the inequality here, that tells me how you're going to, what type of line you're going to have and how you're going to shade. So on 5 right here, you have to do your B of 3 and the slope is 1. We got to remember that if we don't see a number in front of the X, it's automatically 1. And then it is a solid line here. And because it said less than, it's below. Now you need to remember your special cases for 6 through 9. Or bucks. If it's so, the way I think of it is start here. If I see anything that has y equal a number, like if anything is like this, and I know there's not an equal sign, but it's y and a number, then it's a horizontal line. Gotta just remember, if it's a y equal a number, it's a horizontal line. And therefore, the slope is 0. So I think some students are confused on what a horizontal line is versus vertical. You're just going to have to memorize, like your horizon, your horizontal, that's left to right. Vertical, your vertical jump is jumping up and down, okay? This is another word association, maybe to help you. So on the graphing for 7, because it's a vertical line and we've been shading above and below, you can't really do above of a vertical line because the vertical line keeps going and going and going. It would keep going up. So you have to think about what it's saying. The symbol here on 7 is less than. So if I'm at a -5, what numbers would be less than? That would be to the left. So that's why the shading is to the left of the vertical line. So when you have vertical, your shading is going to be left or right. It won't be up or above or below. So here was 8. Okay. We should have had a solid line. It's less than, so it's shaded below. And here was 9. A solid line again. Since it's greater than 0, it's basically on the y-axis here. And greater than would be to the right. All right, so what you're going to do is use that information that we learned yesterday. If you want to look at these notes to help you, if you want this out with you as you do your practice problems, that's fine. But make sure your name's on here. So you're going to need to solve for y if necessary, if the y is not already isolated. They want you to graph using solid or dashed lines. Now I know on here it says consider a test point. A test point is just a point to test if it's in the shaded region in the solution set. The most common test point is 0, 0. You can use that point to test an inequality even if you didn't graph it. And then you're going to shade the side where the point is true. Okay, so I'm going to just talk about the test point. Let's talk about test point first before I do my graphing. If you didn't have a grid here and we wanted to test our point, which is 0, 0. Okay. You got to remember that this is representing the x value, the x and the y value. So because I know the inequality is y is less than a -3/2x minus, I'm going to go ahead and write that. Y is less than -3/2x minus 1. What you're doing with these values is you're going to plug them into the equation. So I like to use 0, 0 because anything times 0 is 0. So really what you would have when you substitute it in, even if I were to write 0. Even if I show it less than negative 3 over 2 times 0 minus 1, well, anything times 0 is 0. So really this is saying 0 is less than 1. Well, is that true or is that false? Is 0 less than 1? That is false. So that means that the point 0, 0 is not, oops, sorry, is not in the shaded. Oh, my writing is bad. I'll fix that later. So, but guys, we're gonna keep this simple, okay? Kiss it through. Keep it simple, stupid. No, we're not calling each other stupid, but keep it simple. Just graph it. Graph it like you know. Graph your y-intercept first, so that is our negative 1 here on the y-axis. Our slope is a negative 3 over 2, okay? So that means that because this is the slope, it means we're going to go down 3 to the right 2. So down 3 to the right 2, plot a point. Okay? That's 4 points. I need to do one more. That means I'm going in the opposite direction, up 3. 1, 2, 3, to the left 2. There it is. Now, they want us to graph the line and show the shaded region. So I have to pay attention to the symbol here. And because I see this symbol, you have to remember that's going to be dash, a dash line, and it's going to be below because it's less than. All right, so I'm going to just use the tool, or I'll do one with the ruler. So here's your ruler. Ooh, it's huge. I don't need it to be that big. And we're going to bring it down here. And we're going to line up the edge. Sorry, on with the points. Which I've gone too far. Oh, it's not lining up right. That's one. Sorry about this. This app is, I was just using the one which is more interactive. Okay, I think I got it about. I think that's the best I can get it. So this is a dash line. So we're just gonna have tick marks. That line is way too thick. Okay, there we go, tick marks. Going through. All right, I'm gonna delete this ruler. All right, so we're gonna have a little arrow here. Show the line continues in both directions. There we go. And then we said we're gonna shade below. So I'm gonna highlight shading below the line. Ooh, here we go. Make sure you're filling your graph, the grid, to show the solution set, the shading region. Oh, I just went a little bit too far. I went past the line, sorry. Okay, so doesn't have to be, just get the idea. And now you have to circle the points that are true. So right off the bat, I don't think it's asking us to check here. So all we're going to do is check each point, which is exactly how we did it on our notes yesterday. So we have negative 2, 8. Negative 2, 8 is here. That's not in the shaded region. They want us to circle the points that are true. So this is no, so this one doesn't work. 1, 3 obviously doesn't work. 0, negative 1, that's actually a no as well because it's on the dotted line, this dash line, and that's not part of the solution. Negative 2, 0 is here. There's your negative 2, 0. It's in the shaded, so this is the only one that is a solution. Now you can have more than one when you're doing this, okay? So if we have y equals mx plus b, we're going straight to graphing. 3 is like a special case, okay? A special case that what I was showing at on 4 through 9. That when I'm referring to our special case, I'm talking about our, sorry, let's see if it gets here. our OI, and our VUX, B, the U, the X. So I always start, if I see X equals a number, like there's X, and there's an inequality, but it's the same thing as less than, or I mean greater than and equal to a number, a -1, then this is just a vertical line. Okay, so you should graph a vertical line here, and then do your shading. Now, on a problem like number 4, this is when you have to solve for y. So in a problem like this, I'm going to rewrite it over here to the side just to kind of keep all the work together. 2x plus y is greater than or equal to -7. So we have been boxing our y term to help see who to eliminate a little better. But you're always, when we're solving for y, add or subtract. We're mostly going to end up subtracting the x term. So it's -2x, -2x. The x terms cancel. Then you rewrite what we have remaining. So we have y is greater than or equal to. Then you rewrite this left side. You don't start with the 7. You go from bottom to the top. Bottom is this 2x, and then -7. And now it's in slope-intercept form. We don't have to do any dividing here because the y is already isolated. So now you're going to graph it. Okay, you're going to graph just like you did, or just like we have been doing. So you will have some, go to the back page, where you're going to have to solve for y. All right. After you graph it, then you need to test each point. Circle the points that are true for the inequality. So on the back, I'm just giving you a heads up. You're going to have to solve for y. And make sure, for example, like on, let me see, make sure. Yeah, let's talk about 5 real quick, because we're fine on that one. So like, when you solve for y, because we're going to box this, and we minus the 3x, I'm going to rewrite it over here to the left. This leaves you with the -y is less than or equal to, I'll put that in actually. -y is less than or equal to -3x minus 1. Now, got to pay attention to this negative sign. You can't have a negative variable that we're solving for. So here you would need to divide everything by a -1. But because we're dividing by a negative number, you have to remember the rule. The rule says to flip the symbol. So the symbol that we have here is this less than or equal to is going to have to get flipped because of these negatives that we're dividing by on both sides. So now this goes greater than or equal to. You keep the y. -3 divided by -1 makes that a positive 3x. -1 divided by -1 makes that a positive 1. So now you have your inequality. So don't forget that rule that was in your notes about flipping when you divide by a negative. Okay, so we start with the y-intercept, which is the 1. Put a point there. We use the slope of the inequality, or the equation, which is the 3. So that means our m is 3/1. So it means we're going up 3 to the right 1. Or we can go down 3 to the left 1. I'm going to use the app. So this symbol has a line underneath it. So you're saying less than or equal to. So that means we're going to have a solid line. Let me get that there. So I'm going to connect to these points like such. We need to extend this line so it's on the graph, the whole graph. There we go. And because it's greater than or equal to, because I'm looking at this symbol here, because it's greater than, we're going to shade. Greater means you're going to shade above the line. So that means it's going to have to come over here. All right. All right. And then now you're just circling the points that are true for this inequality. So it has to be in the shaded region for it to be true. Well, 0, 0 is not in the shaded region. Oops, I don't know why it's doing that. Let me fix that. Oh, that's better. If I go and I plot the point 2, 7, to negative 7, that's here. That's not in the shaded region. Same thing if I did 3, negative 4. And so now if I look at negative 4, there it is right there. Negative 3. That puts me here. So there's my negative 4. Man, why is this font bad? Negative 4, comma, negative 3. I don't know if you can see that. All right, so this is the only one that is actually a solution. Or makes the inequality true. It's true when it's in the shaded. It's false when it's not. All right, so you are going to complete these 8 graphs. I did quite a bit with you. Okay, I would say ask questions if you need some help. But this is going to be a separate grade. So you'll finish this and you'll take a picture and submit it on Teams. All right, thanks guys.